Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Shield Hero Season 2. In the last episode, shit hit the fan. Shit hit the fan hard. In my humble opinion, harder than the source material, if what I heard about the source material is true. Meaning that in the source, Naofumi and Rishia were teleported into the endless labyrinth without Raphtalia in the first place, and in the anime, right here, Raphtalia was separated from Naofumi, maliciously separated as a means of getting at him, getting to him, getting into his head, getting revenge, making Naofumi overall feel sad, bad, and miserable. This really had an impact, and I titled the previous episode A Return of Despair because I fully believe this is what we are going to witness. And Naofumi, without Raphtalia, will very much revert back to his old state, to how he was near the beginning of the first season. He will again be angry at the entire world, prone to raging and whatnot. And I pity the book dude once Naofumi gets his hands on him. Uh, did anything else happen in the previous episode that's more worth mentioning than the fact Raphtalia was removed from Naofumi's care? Not really. I mean, sure, they did some training and whatnot. Not training, trading and whatnot. They discovered that apparently consuming items from the other world gives you XP. Like Naofumi consuming stuff from this world gives him XP, and Izuna, Izuna consuming items from Naofumi's world gives her XP, and also some items don't exist in every world, like the soul soothing potion that exists in Naofumi's world, but not in this one. And it was a smack dab hit among the race of spirits. That's yet another difference between the worlds, right? There don't seem to be any beastmen, but there are spirit people, and there are gem people, and there are elves, or grass people as they call them. So I like it. I like the little multiverse they have set up here. The question is, what else is there in one world but not in the other? Does Naofumi being in this new world give him new possibilities, new abilities of growing in power? Right? We know the ways that one can enhance their weapon in Naofumi's world, right? You can feed it materials, you can grab other weapons, there's and like copy that weapon's properties onto yours. I think there's like one more or two more ways, because I remember that every hero had their own way of leveling up their weapons. Question is, does this world have its own way of leveling weapons, and can Naofumi make use of them so that he can strengthen his shield not by using 4 systems, but by using maybe 8 or however many there are, right? Maybe him using those systems won't carry over to his world. That's also a possibility. We need to remember that after being transported here, he lost all his levels. He started at level 1 again. So, yeah, a lot of questions, and I am hoping we will see answers, especially now that Izuna is with us, because she seems fairly knowledgeable about what's going on between the worlds and whatnot. And as of yet, we didn't really have anybody who would explain things plainly and simply to Naofumi. She is the very first one, and I'm trying to place my tea in some decent spot, white tea with mango and lemon, because I have a feeling that my cat will want to cuddle very soon, and I will have to do it on camera. She's already laying there and meowing, but alas, I have no time for her right now. Only after I stop recording. And to stop recording, we need to start recording, right? Makes sense. So I'm gonna give you your subs so that you know where we are. I'm gonna grab myself my sound. There we go. And I'm going to remind you that you can support me on Patreon or by just sharing my videos with other people. And now we can start watching episode 9 of Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2, version by subs, please, as usual. And we can start it in 3, 2, 1, go. Yep, they were teleported. Without Raphtalia. Can't. Yep. She's gonna try, but she won't be able to. Book Dude has control over their teleportation. Yes! The dragon awakens! The dragon awakens again, fed by Naofumi's rage. Ethnobald. Ethnobald. That's the... That's the slave trader theme. Okay, yeah, makes sense that the slave trader theme would be playing. Seeing how Philo is being captured. In some weird... Oh! Sealed? Some sort of a seal that can undo transformation? Interesting. Could Raphtalia be reverted into a tanuki? No, I don't think beast people, beast folk are actually have like, you know, their animal forms or anything like that. They are just beast people. Philo did have her original animal form, so it makes sense that she would be reverted. Okay, I guess my cat is just content laying there on the ground. Who is that Ethnobalt dude? Another hero? A a lesser hero, maybe? Because there are like cardinal heroes and the lesser heroes, I'm gonna call them overall, because it seems like every world has a different name for them. Naofumi's world calls them 7-star heroes, and perhaps there are also other groups of lesser heroes. In this world, they are vassal heroes? I might be fucking something up, but more or less. Ah, yes, a strongly worded letter. That'll do. Thanks to this gentleman. This dude is a badass, he doesn't open his eyes. He's probably a hidden cardinal hero. Laugh suddenly turned to terror. No, it's just you guys who are doing that. Yeah, the dragon grows. Yep, very much a callback to the first season. Yeah, he's not gonna stick around. Whomst? Ethebald? Ethnobald. A floating bishonen. Boat. Boat hero. Who? A familiar? A familiar penguin. Okay. Shikigami. Hmm. Checks out. Yeah. Oh. Oh, so if you make the Shikigami with someone else, then that Shikigami will let you find each other. Okay. I like this mechanic. Can you retrieve it? Apparently you can. Not a problem. He has blood to spare. Right here, right now. Okay. Sure. Something's going awry. Brand new shield. Shikigami shield. It's a tanuki. It's a mini Raphtalia. Now make one for Philo. Yeah, it is a mini Raphtalia. Okay, that's an interesting tidbit of information. Well, safe is relative, but at least she's alive. Yep. Do you have something that belongs to Philo? Spirit? No, he's not a spirit. He's a rabbit. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, both weapon. So tell him to make a boat for you, just hop on and sail forward to Raphtalia. Sounds simple enough. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense that it can change forms. It's a vassal weapon after all, right? Eventually. Same place. Hmm. So probably everybody converged at the same place. Glass, Lark, and Therese in their pursuit of Kyo, and Naofumi and his team in his pursuit of Raphtalia. He's useful to have around. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so he can just provide transportation, but he can't actually like fight. Similarly to Kizuna, who can hunt and fight monsters, but can't actually fight people. Interesting how it works. Yeah, Phil's not having a good time. She's straight out not having a good time. And he's just their driver. Okay. Street lamps? Yeah. They immediately assumed it's the fact that your heroes are trying to destroy Naofumi's world. It means that Naofumi is trying to destroy your world. Projection much? She was trying to destroy it, is what she was trying to do. Hear what? Oh, Philo. Okay, so he hears Philo. And he probably wasn't able to find her with his bullshit magic uh, because she was sealed off. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was about the distance. And now she's close. Just break in. Ah, yeah, another one who believes that Philo is an angel, huh? It's Philo. Okay, time to break in now, Fumi. Just fucking bust this place open! Let's roll! Let's roll! Rage shield! Let's go! Yes! It's close enough to being knight. Tick tock, Risha! Sneak in during the night, grab Philo, and murder everybody in their sleep. That's also a solution. Yep. Even Risha is, like, hyped for it. She's down for some torture. Yeah. She's sealed up for the night, I'm assuming. In her bird form. No. That's a Philolial. Yep, rip them off. Can you? Orders her to transform, I'm assuming? There we go! One member of the party restored. Now, on to some murder. Yeah. Iron Maiden and be done. Or maybe not. Something else. Ah ho ho! Nightmare Shield! Okay, psychological torture. I approve. Psychological torture is great because you can keep it up for however long you want and there is no damage to the body. Physical torture works only for so long until the body gives in, right? Yeah, could have been. Not just a Philolia, she's a Philolia princess, essentially. Hmm. Yeah. You better fucking not. You better find some magic way to, like, bond yourselves together for eternity or something. Like a magic compass that always points at everybody else at all times, at any distance, even across worlds. I mean, shit, she was just being tortured. No wonder. Rafchan. At least he has a name. It has a name. She has a name. I don't know. It's a Pokemon. It just speaks out his name. She is. Don't forget that Kizuna is a Lolibaba. Hmm? Ooh? What the fuck? Then she's alive. But she might be unconscious, or he might be trying to strip her powers, or maybe he removed the slave crest from her. Or maybe he's manipulating the slave crest somehow. Hmm. A lot of things that could have happened. See, initially, like, uh, well into the first season still, I wasn't entirely sold on the gamification of this world because I'm used to the gamification of the world being largely, how should I say it, inconsequential. Like, the main character just gets a view of their stats and maybe an inventory, and it's just a way to provide narrative easier, right? Instead of uh, telling or showing the viewers that the main character mastered the spell of Fireball, you show that, hey, Fireball plus 10, max level. And you don't have to put any effort whatsoever into explaining those things. Same goes for inventory. Having your main character be drawn with a huge backpack on their back, I guess might be seen as unappealing. And we're having another scene. Oh, it's Raphtalia. Okay, where are we going? Some mansion in the ice. Katana hero. I'm guessing we're gonna fight him. Okay, but I'm gonna switch into this view, and I'm going to continue my thoughts about gamification. Uh, Usually, it's a means to explain things easily and without effort. Same goes, as I said, for inventory. It's more appealing to show your main character in their full glory, so to speak, rather than have them carry a backpack and a fuck ton of bags around. Some series go around it by having the main character very quickly procure some sort of a stagecoach or a caravan or something like that, right? Like first time, within the first 5 chapters, they save a city from disaster, and they want a stagecoach as a reward. Like, that's way too common to not be a trope at this point. That the first good and big deed the main character does, they get some sort of a carriage out of it. But in some series, they don't want the carriage, and they want the heroes to travel on foot, and that's where inventory is useful instead of having to draw them all covered in bags and carrying stuff around. In case of Shield Hero, again, initially I wasn't sold on the whole concept of gamification, but they are actually trying to do something with it. It's actually fairly relevant. Not quite as relevant as it was in, for example, Log Horizon, because Log Horizon was all about how gamified the world is, because it was based on a game. But they are still trying to do something interesting. First, it was the endless labyrinth that they essentially glitched out of. They glitched under the map and fell into the real world. Then there's the significance of Naofumi not being able to see Philo's stats and Raphtalia's stats later on. Then there's their level being reset. That's also significant. It wasn't without the whole gamified system, they would have to go at length explaining, oh, I suddenly feel weak and whatnot, and it wouldn't really work. Explaining it with a loss of levels makes sense. Then we have this mechanic of Raphtalia's stats disappearing. It's actually like narratively, it actually drives the narrative. It drives the story. The gamified systems are relevant not just as an easy cop-out, but also actually relevant for the story. I really like it. I really do. Generally speaking, I wasn't a huge fan of the first arc of this season, of the Tortoise arc. Not a huge fan at all. Felt very unshield hero-like and extremely rushed. I'm talking like super fucking rushed, and at the same time overstaying its welcome, which is super weird because it both took too much time and felt like it needed more. I don't know, but I'm liking this arc of Another World. I really am liking this arc. Many people dropped this season, I know for a fact, because the Tortoise arc was just shit. Let's be honest here, let's call it what it is. And I hope some of them give Shield Hero another shot and they watch like the last episode of the Tortoise arc to get context for this arc and then continue with this arc. First, like 3, 4, maybe even 5 episodes of Shield Hero Season 2 can just be skipped and just enjoy the rest. Makes me wish they honestly skipped the Tortoise arc, or kinda did the thing where main characters just sit around the table and reminisce of how they got here, right? Like, have them be transported to this world, sit in a tavern, and talk about and reminisce about how they got here, how it was possible, or talk to Kizuna and retell the story in like a few minutes instead of spending whole ass fucking 6 episodes on it. But yeah, this arc I'm really liking. So let's go through this episode again. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'd rather fall. I'd rather fall through the trap than leave Raphtalia there. And yeah, the dragon awakens. It's shown somewhere here, but I'm not gonna bother finding it, or maybe I am. Maybe I am gonna. There it is. The dragon awakens. Makes sense that they wouldn't be able to go back because Hyo wouldn't allow them to go back. He tuned that hourglass in a way that would leave Raphtalia out of the teleportation, for a reason. If he just kept it open for all of them to go back at any time, there would be no point to his plans. But it's also interesting how much control Kyo has over those hourglasses. I know that some people in the previous episode complained about how it makes no sense that Kyo would be able to stop the hourglass from working. No, if anybody, it would exactly be Kyo. He's been researching it for such a long time. When they teleported into this world, I'm assuming it was Kyo's doing that separated Philo from him. And even in the source material, I'm assuming it was Kyo's doing to separate Raphtalia from them. So it makes sense that Kyo has some power over teleportation. Be it teleportation between worlds or teleportation between dragon hourglasses. And it also kind of ties into the theme of the heroes of this world. Many heroes seem like supports here, right? Kizuna, sure, she can hold her own in combat, but she's mostly a support. She can fight monsters, essentially deal with the mobs, but when it's time to fight humans, she's useless, pretty much. The book hero, he seems to have no ability to fight, from what he's told us, but he can provide instant transportation into any place in the world. Almost makes me wonder, wait, is Kizuna a cardinal hero? Or is she a lesser hero? I think the boat dude is a lesser hero? I don't know. But what I wanted to say that it almost seems like the each cardinal hero is supposed to have like one or two lesser heroes under them. Does the XP gain block also works when it's a cardinal hero and a lesser hero fighting alongside each other? Because we know that two cardinal heroes being in the general vicinity means both of them get diminished XP, or even no XP at all, as was shown when Kizuna was fighting monsters. And Naofumi wasn't getting any XP for that. But is it the same across Cardinal and Lesser? I don't know. They're from sequel. Ethnobelt. Brand new character. I initially thought that she did transform into a Philorial, but no, Philorials are big. Then again, as a chick, she wasn't as big as an adult Philorial. So I don't know, but yeah, we have a confirmation that it's a whole another species, probably the closest they have in their world to Philorials. OP, OP, OP. OP, 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 OP. The Loctar Nation's Cardinal Hero. Okay, so Kizuna is a Cardinal Hero. She's not a lesser hero, she's a Cardinal Hero. So there goes my theory about lesser heroes being supports, because it seems like even a Cardinal Hero is... Then again, Naofumi is also technically a support. The fact that he has a ultra powerful attack shield and rage shield and turret shield and fucking nuke shield and whatnot doesn't make him any less of a support hero. Maybe lesser heroes are supposed to make up for deficiencies of cardinal heroes. Like Kizuna is supposed to be accompanied by two lesser heroes who are focused on combat or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I'm talking completely out of my ass and it's not like that whatsoever. Ah, yes. Send them a strongly worded letter. That will work. Iwatani Naofumi, cardinal hero just like me but from another world. And yeah, more parallels to the season 1, to how Naofumi was in season 1, to what was happening to him in season 1. You can see the very same face. You can see the dragon rage burning within him. The faces full of contempt. Look at how much more definition is on them now. All the additional shading. Everybody's scowling at him. Just turns around and leaves. He's not gonna deal with this bullshit anymore. He already had to deal with it. Not anymore. Here comes Ethebald, the boat hero. The floaty bishonen. That's what he is. Ethnobald, not Ethebald. Ethnobald. Both vassal weapon, and he's a vassal hero. I think. Cardinal heroes and vassal heroes. Cardinal weapons and vassal weapons. Yeah, okay, makes sense. So maybe vassal heroes are supporters after all. Because Kizuna can fight. She just can't fight humans. I don't know. Not big enough. Not big enough of a sample. Shikigami can apparently be transformed into talismans. Interesting. And yeah, I'm assuming Chris would be able to, for example, find Kizuna if Glass were to ask him where Kizuna is. It's a two-way thing. It's a manifestation of a bond between two people. I'm assuming that's more or less what a Shikigami is. Some blood, some hair, and there we go. Okay, what's this about? His reaction, his surprise, he's shocked. This is... He never finishes the thought. Even Risha notices that something's wrong. It's manifesting faster than I imagined. Why? To whom does this catalyst belong? Is it because Raphtalia is like super strong or something? Like Raphtalia is maybe strong enough to be on a level of a Cardinal Hero? Perhaps when compared to Cardinal Heroes of Naofumi's world. Is she special somehow in some other way? The way Philo is a Philolial Queen, future Philolial Queen? Is it the bond between Naofumi and Raphtalia? Is it some experiments that Kyo did on Raphtalia or something? Or is it simply because of the fact that they came here from a different world, so they are different, their bond works differently, they have the slave crest. Notice how it seems like in this world they're using talismans to enslave other creatures. Maybe it could be because of the slave crest. I don't know. And a brand new Shikigami shield. Already starts at level 5 apparently. Close to the Slaver Trainer shield. And the Philolial Feather shield. Philolial Nail shield. And Philolial Egg shield, I'm assuming. Shikigami shield indeed. And here comes the Tanuki. Important piece of information, Raphtalia is alive. And also the existence of a Shikigami speaks of the existence of both people who created it. If one of them were to die, I'm assuming Shikigami also perishes. It's not just Raphtalia, there's Philo too. Why wouldn't he also ask Ethebald to create a Philo Shikigami to have an easier time of finding her. Right? Seems like a bit of an oversight. It probably was explained in the source material, something like you can only have one Shikigami at a time, or Ethelbald can only create one Shikigami a month, or something like that. I have no doubt it was actually explained. Doesn't change the fact that it wasn't explained in the anime, so it's worth mentioning. And apparently Naofumi can see through his disguise, and Ethelbald is a monster, a descendant of monsters. Interesting how this world seems to have some benevolent monsters. Right? We haven't seen anybody who would be a monster in Naofumi's world, unless... I guess you can count Philolials as monsters. Yeah. Okay, sure. Sure, makes sense. Monsters aren't only just the aggressive ones, it's in general the fucked up animals of their respective worlds. So I'm assuming those big bug bunnies are the equivalent of Philolials from Naofumi's world, or something along those lines. Interesting, though. Interesting. It felt safe to let him see me this way, because Naofumi is beloved by beastfolk. Simple as. It's not just because you can make Shikigami, you also can find people yourself. Boat vassal weapons wielder. Fucking boat weapon. Fucking boat weapon. Fishing rod. Was already pushing it. Book was still within the realm of being fine. Boat. His boat will take us to where the person you're looking for is. It's just a ship? No, it's a big ass ship. It's hardly a boat. Also, can you really not use it as a weapon? It has a big ass spike at the bottom. Just orbital drop it on your enemies. Float it, just, fly over the battlefield and just, stomp them like fucking Goombas. It'd work. Don't tell me it wouldn't. Name? Yeah, eventually. Naofumi, of course, needs time to get used to yet another companion. I wonder if the Shikigami is going to stick around even in Naofumi's world. That's also a question. We haven't seen anything like a Shikigami in Naofumi's world. We haven't seen an equivalent. Will it still be there? Or will it transform into, like, the closest thing to a Shikigami, right? Since it's a Tanuki Shikigami, maybe it'll transform into a sentient Tanuki, sapient Tanuki. Maybe it'll transform into a beast folk, into like a young raccoon girl or a young raccoon boy, because that's the closest to a Shikigami in Naofumi's world. Interesting. I'm very interested to see where Raf-chan, was it? That Philo called it? Yeah, I think something like that. I hope it sticks around. And yeah, Glass and Raphtalia are apparently in the same place. In Raibul, question is, what's the chronology here? Because at the end we see that Raphtalia was being transported into some snowy mansion kind of place. Is it that both Raphtalia and Glass are at the snowy mansion, perhaps held captive, or they were at the same place but Raphtalia was carted off? I don't know. The chronology is kind of vague here, but I have full trust that we will figure it out eventually. Travel travel fast by riding along the connections between the dragon hourglasses, but you don't have to go from an hourglass to another hourglass. You can pop onto the connection wherever you want and snap out of the connection wherever you want. That's the benefit over traveling with dragon veins. And you don't need to register yourself with an hourglass or whatever. Yep. And yeah, if you still weren't sure if this guy is the bad guy, and if Philo is in dire straits, this guy is a bad guy and Philo is in dire straits. Just sneaking in. It's a bit more modern. I'm assuming the genius, it's the doing of the genius mage. He was able to figure out street lamps and such. And yeah, now for me, here's Philo. I like that he managed to find Philo this soon. I like it. And yeah, I was really hoping that he's just going to bust in, and perhaps the way he was in season 1 he would have. But he's changed. He's not entirely driven by his rage anymore. He can be reasoned with to a degree. The dragon rage is still burning within him. He still very much wants to murder that motherfucker. But he can be talked out of it. Let's sneak in undercover and save her. Let's not jeopardize our mission to save Raphtalia. We can save her still. It's no biggie. Let's just not do it right now. Also interesting that it's Rishia who's able to talk Naofumi out of it. I don't know if it signifies some modicum of trust and the bond growing between them, because usually it used to be only Raphtalia that was able to quell Naofumi's anger, but now perhaps it's that they have a bond now, nothing perhaps quite as strong as Naofumi and Raphtalia, but still they are, they are companions. So now, Risha has some influence on Naofumi, and also Naofumi's changed. He's easier to be talked out of going apeshit. Our priority is to get Philo back unharmed. Sneak in. We can torture that guy until he tells us the truth. Please say he'll question it. Is there any difference? Notice how serious Rishia is here. She's not mwehing. She's not being sad and scared and panicked. She's determined. It's a face of determination. There's been a lot of character growth for Rishia. Those two are kinda scary. Yes! Rishia changed. Rishia can now be scary, just a little bit scary, but scary nonetheless. She's not scared of sneaking in. She's not apprehensive. She's like, let's get this bread. Let's go, let's free Philo. A lot of different birds. Hummingbird, humming fairy chick. And yeah, they use talismans. If I can use the monster crest, you can do what exactly? Because sure, using the monster crest worked somehow, but how exactly? He's just changing some setting from nothing to Naofumi, and from nothing to like 500. What does it say? What does it say? I'm going to screen cap it. And I'm going to translate it later. I'm not gonna take your time here, me just slowly scribbling the characters in Google Translate. Whatever I find out, I'm gonna post on my Discord. So if you're curious, you can join my Discord right now. Link is right here. Or you can just translate it yourself. I'm curious what it says, because the immediate effect is that Philo glows brightly, or rather her slave crest does. It rips apart the talisman, it hurts Philo, but it frees her. I don't know what the deal is. And I didn't know that Naofumi has a psychological torture shield. It's cool that he does, don't get me wrong. Is it the shield he got from... what was it? There was a monster they fought that looked kinda like those faces. I think. I might be Soul Eater? No, Naofumi has a Soul Eater shield. Is this shield like parallel to the Soul Eater shield? Because those faces kinda look like the Soul Eater. And yeah, just psychological torture shield. Very useful to have around, huh? Kinda broke him. Good. Broke his mind. Good. And yeah, the reason she was still able to she may have been assigned a similar race, which again leads me to wonder what's gonna happen to the Shikigami. Would be interesting if it transformed after Naofumi goes back to his world, if it transformed into a mini Raphtalia. That'd be interesting. Actually, I'm going to take note of it. Just in case. Just in case. Rafu? Rafu was its name? Rafu Chan transforms into mini Raphtalia in Naofumi's world. Also, I just noticed something. I referred to the world Naofumi was isekai'd to as Naofumi's world. I think we just completely dropped the pretense of Naofumi planning to go back to his world. It's not happening. Let's be honest here. Naofumi's world is the world he was isekai'd to, and that's it. That's that. Reminder of Vittoria, yeah. Master is my master. Of course he is. Raphtalia Onechan. Rafchan. Okay, Rafchan. Rafchan also tells me it's a girl. Okay, I now know which pronouns to use. Kazayama Kizuna, so it is Kizuna, not Izuna. Kizuna, like Kizuna Ai. Kizuna, Kizuna, Kizuna. And Chris. It's too dark for them to make out any real description of us. That's why you get rid of the witnesses. I'm sorry, but that's what you do. Not like they deserve to live anyway. Just, get rid of them, wipe their minds, wipe their memories, or whatever, to stop them from, putting a wanted poster after you. Wielder of the katana vassal weapon was found by escaped. Is the katana vassal weapon the wielder of it, the katana hero? I'm just gonna call him or her. I don't know. Them. Is the katana hero like a criminal in this world or something? Kind of like Kizuna was put in jail in the Infinite Labyrinth. Is it the same deal with the katana hero? I don't know, hard to tell. The nation's doing everything it can to find them. My initial impression when we heard that the title of the next episode is Katana Hero, I assumed we're gonna fight them, that the Katana Heroes maybe sided with Kyo. But maybe not. Maybe they're gonna be an ally. Interesting, 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 interesting. Raphtalia's stats disappeared. Uh-huh. And Raphtalia herself disappeared from the party. It seems because she no longer shows on the left. Right? Member... Naofumi... Yeah, Naofumi Rishia Philo Kizuna. No Raphtalia. Okay, Naofumi's level 48, Rishia is 47. Philo is still level 1, makes sense. She's gonna have to level up a little if she wants to be of help. What's the significance of it? Rafu is still around, so Raphtalia is alive. But what happened to her? What could have removed her from Naofumi's party? Is there some sort of a magic, maybe some sort of talisman that forcefully removes you from your party? Or did Raphtalia underwent something that made her quote-unquote no longer herself? She evolved. She's no longer Raphtalia. That's why she isn't in Naofumi's party. She's now Raphtalia Prime. She's now Princess Raphtalia. She's now Raphtalius. Or, you know, something, some change occurred that made Raphtalia no longer Raphtalia. Like, metaphorically speaking. I'm gonna note it down. Some change in Raphtalia made her no longer the same that removed her from the party. There we go. And yeah, it's a snowy place. And the guard is very much kinda scared of Raphtalia, of her defiance. One more thing I wanted to see. No, there are no talismans on her. I half expected her to have a talisman on her, but no, apparently not. Episode 10, Katana Hero. Okay. Okay. That was an interesting episode. I'm glad we have Philo back. At least one member of the party has been retrieved. And now we can fully commit to retrieving Raphtalia. Kinda makes me think. Kinda makes me wonder. Not gonna lie. Okay, that's an interesting thought, and I'm gonna note it down. Could it be that Raphtalia doesn't need help in the end? And I'm going to expand on it later. Raphtalia doesn't need help. What I mean by that is perhaps she eventually is going to be able to escape herself. Maybe even just 1v1 Kyo. Because Kyo said that he's going to get her to, like, experiment on her. What if that experiment backfires? What if that's also what removed Raphtalia from Naofumi's party? Right? Raphtalia evolved, wreaked havoc in Kyo's little lab, 1v1 Kyo, and she's just now sitting on the throne of dead bodies waiting for Naofumi to arrive and rejoin him. You know, something along those lines. I wonder if that's where it's headed. That'd be interesting. I certainly think that Raphtalia has to have changed somehow in one way or another. Not sure how exactly, but I can't find any other explanation for why would she be removed from Naofumi's party. Unless Kyo removed her slave crest, maybe? I guess that'd be an explanation. How did it look back in season 1 when they forcibly removed her slave crest? Did she disappear completely from his roster, from Naofumi's roster? I'm not sure. I don't remember, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, something changed. Probably for the better. I'm fully expecting everybody involved to essentially get a power boost after coming back from this world. Naofumi maybe will retain his levels and they will be added on top of his regular levels. He already has a brand new shield, they have a new party member. Rishia became just a little bit more hard-boiled. They have now a better understanding of the deal with the multiple worlds, right? All that stuff. Perhaps everything can finally head towards the direction that I'm hoping. I'm hoping against all hope will be the direction the series goes for, and that is they will eventually try to find a way, some way, any way, to stop whatever is the driving force between the thing where two worlds collide and one of them has to perish. That the end game will be not to have one of the worlds perish, but either to have both worlds merge somehow or to somehow have them both exist still, both persist, despite none of them having to perish, kind of stopping the force of nature that forces the world, pits them against each other. I'm hoping that this will be the end game, but there's still a long way towards that. I don't think even the manga, even the light novel, explore those concepts yet. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. I wouldn't consider it a spoiler if you said that, yeah, they've been actually thinking about how they can just preserve both worlds, or no, they haven't been thinking how to preserve both worlds. If you know, let me know. And what else is there worth mentioning? I like how much character growth Rishia got. She's much more hard-boiled right now, much more determined, much less of a dojiko. I like it. I like her growth. I like Rishia very much. What else? Interesting how the people at the palace instantly assume that Naofumi is here to destroy their world. Perhaps, perhaps heroes of each of the world and people of each of those worlds aren't told what's the deal with the other world. Perhaps people of Naofumi's world believe that the one and the only way to save their world is to fight off the waves of catastrophe. And people of Glass's world, believe that the one and only way is for heroes of one world to destroy the other world, and then the surviving world just survives. I wonder if maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. Or maybe waves can be brought to Glass's world somehow, and at half strength, for example. And if both worlds deal with the waves, then both worlds survive, or something like that. I'm purely spitballing here, but just throwing ideas. It's interesting. Multiverses are always interesting. And also, I have to repeat the question: is Naofumi's original world, is Japan, are Japans? Because let's not forget that every single hero comes from a different version of Japan. Are all of them also parts of the same multiverse? Can waves suddenly appear in our world, for example, right? Can now Fumi's Japan find vassal weapons in Sumerian ruins, or something like that? Or is it a multiverse of multiverses? Essentially, this is a multiverse where vassal heroes and waves and all of that exists. Vassal weapons and cardinal weapons and waves and all of that exists. And there's a multiverse where none of that exists. And all of the worlds within that multiverse coexist peacefully, and it's just worlds in this multiverse that are constantly clashing. If so, what makes this multiverse different from that other multiverse? And can that difference be eliminated? A lot of interesting questions, and I don't think we're gonna deal with that anytime soon, so I'm gonna drop it. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. So now you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, of my reaction, of my theories? Leave your comments down below, or if you want to talk spoilers, don't talk them in the comments, talk them on my Discord. There's a Shield Hero channel, and you can use spoiler tags and talk spoilers there freely. If there's been something that was left out, that was there in the source material, but wasn't shown in the anime, and it's not a spoiler, I'm gonna leave it at your discretion. I'd like to hear of it. Again, either on Discord or in the comments. Tell me about it. I'm curious, I'm interested, as long as it's not a spoiler. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon and all that jazz to be notified of future releases, not only Shield Hero, but also Skeleton Knight in Another World, Spy X Family, Showcase Shoujo Virgin Road, Review Starlight, and Symphogear G. All of the series are on my channel and more, so go check them out if you want. You can support me monetarily if you really like what I'm doing, or if you want the benefits, because for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows. That is Symphogear G and Review Starlight right now. If you want to watch them early, that's how you can do that. And for just $1, you get a role on my Discord server, and you also get a place in the credits that will be rolling by very, very soon. If you want to support the channel, but not necessarily do it monetarily, you can also do that, of course, by sharing my videos, sharing my channel, spreading the word that I'm doing what I'm doing, and maybe some of your friends or family or complete strangers on the internet would be interested. Natural growth through the grapevine is the best kind of growth. Lastly, join my Discord. Already mentioned it many a time. It's free, it's open to everybody, so come hang out with us. And right now I shielded what I needed to shield, so that's gonna be it from me for today. As always, do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And here's the credits that I mentioned. You can help expand the list, not just of $10 but also 1 or 5 or however many you want.